in the current uncertain geopolitical times, we see many such places things are unsettled, whether it is the Middle East, whether it is Europe, and other places. And in all these places, what has come is that air power no more plays a supportive role. It is actually shaping outcomes. And therefore, the centrality and the criticality of aviation technologies is very, very apt, because that is the future, and that is where nations will look at when it comes to having strategic independence, whether it needs to have leadership in technologies, and where we need to invest not only resources and financial resources, but also the human resource. So therefore, the centrality of emerging critical technologies in aviation is a very, very important factor that we must consider as we look towards being a Viksit nation by 2047. And if I have to say, just go down the line and look at where we were 40 or 50 years back, I think we have come a long way, and we can definitely pat ourselves on the back that from the 60s, where we designed, if you look at just aircraft, Dr. Kirk Tank designed the HF-24 Marut. Then we had a huge gap of more than 2 decades where we really didn't, pursue and continue on this course. And we had all the institutional knowledge practically dying down till we revived with the LCA project. Having been intimately involved with that project, from very early days, I can tell you that designing an aircraft is challenging. But more challenging is actually to persevere and to ensure that we continue down that path, because that requires long-term focus, that requires resources, and we need to develop that ecosystem where everyone feeds into this primary aim of designing or integrating an aircraft. So aircraft is just not airframe. It is much more than that, and people who have been involved can tell you that each, whether it is flight controls, whether it is engines, whether it is sensors, whether it is weapons, whether it is networks, all these have major role to play. In fact, if you look at the cost of aircraft today, more than 50% of the cost is on systems, and aero engine, if you add these two components, is almost as 60 to 70% of the cost. And therefore, when we look at aviation technology, it is just not aircraft. And we must understand that each of these components play a very, very important role. And therefore, we must develop not only the capability to design and develop an aircraft, we need to ensure that we have all the elements like weapons, especially long-range weapons, EW, electronic warfare, because that is the heart of survivability for the aircraft. The sensors, both infrared, electromagnetic, or radar, because that is one of the key elements on which a platform will fight. And of course, increasingly, as we go along, the network, which is encrypted radios, data links, because as we go into the future, you find the networked environment is going to be central to warfighting. So, to make all this happen, I think the ecosystem needs to evolve. While we have come some way, but still there is a long distance to go. More importantly, I think, like Dr. Rajrashmi was alluding to, I think we need to get down to our engineering colleges and all, where today computer science and AI and ML is probably driving all the growth, or at least where the people are heading to. I think this will also be some kind of a bubble which will burst at some point in time. We need to continue focus on the basics. Manufacturing skills. I have visited many, industries, and I think a constant refrain from most of the people is that the skill sets required just to manufacture quality products is lacking in the country, because we are not developing that from the grassroots. So this, I think, this is a place where possibly industry, government, both can do much better, and probably we'll have to do this together to maybe look at, I think DRDO, we have already told them, look at sponsoring bright students in academic institutes who will possibly be given free tuition and education, and then they supplement and then come into the workforce where they develop over a period of time and have those skill sets ready. Because just remember that even when you come into the workforce, it takes time to develop skill sets, and there is no substitute for experience. And therefore, we need to start this possibly from early days, where we identify people and sustain them so that they come into the workforce and their workforce develops, and possibly that will improve the ecosystem and the skill levels, which is a huge shortage today. Today, what is happening is people are being reskilled when they come into the workforce, the bright people, and you're wasting precious time in trying to reskilling rather than developing the products or trying to improve manufacturing. So this is one area, I think, where we need to concentrate on. A whole-of-nation approach is also required to promote R&D. We must remember that finally, whatever defense ecosystem we create, it should have the quality and the technology which is not only good enough for us, but we should be able to export to the world. And we have to fall into this global supply chain, and we need to develop companies which focus on niche products, which focus on one area rather than trying to diffuse their focus and try to develop many things at the same time. Neither we will have the bandwidth, nor we will have the resources for that. So my point here is that it's a whole-of-a-nation approach, and we as clients, as the user force, we are very, very willing to support. In fact, there has been a lot of impetus on trying to develop the aviation ecosystem in the last few years. Apart from trying to simplify procedures, we have new avenues like IDEX, TDF, and things like that, where we are fully hand-holding more than 150 different projects we are doing with the industry. And some of it has already come to fruition, and I'm sure that many more such things will happen in the future. We have specifically created a Directorate of Aerospace Design, which handholds many industries, provides them the user input so that we end up with a product that is useful to us, not only for us as an Air Force, other services, but even globally. And I think in some of these spaces, we have found some good success. So my request is that we must continue on this path. We must remember that aviation is a long game. It is not something that you will have overnight success. Possibly as we go along, we will have a lot of failures. But that should not stop us from continuing trying. And I can tell you that if we put all our resources together, put our best minds, I think we have the capability and capacity to do wonders in the future. Thank you.